And we are live. Welcome, guys. Welcome to the free MOA group coaching we do every other week. Excited to have you guys here. I just got a message from Walter Weeks a few minutes ago, or actually this morning. He is going to be coming in town, and we're going to be doing a show. It's going to be Myron, Walter, myself, and Rolo, and we have 8 other ladies that are going to be on the show. One second, sorry. All right, cool. So we're going to have that happen. If you guys want to make sure you check that out, that's going to be on the regular Access Vegas channel, and it's also going to be on Fresh and Fit's Rumble. If you guys want to check that out, it's going to be on Wednesday. We already have 8 girls. I put a call out for girls to come on and do the episode with us and Fresh and Fit. And no, bro, William, no, this is a great question. So William Thomas Middleton just put a question in the chat. He goes, 8 that will show up. And so something weird has happened. One of the things we teach in Men of Action, for those of you who have had this happen before, if you guys are in MOA and you've thrown an event, what percentage of the girls do you think flake when you start, when you have no social proof? What percent do you think flake? When you first start throwing events or helping people with events or inviting girls to events, what percent of the women flake and what percent of the men flake? When you start, not now. I know some of you guys are fucking G's now, but in the beginning, how many were flaking? Flake rate for an event was, Sean said 50%. Anybody else? Anybody else have a flake rate? 100% of women flake. That's funny. Anybody else? I agree, Alan, that 100% of women flake at some point. John Alley said 99% of women flake. Anybody else? Anybody else? 98% of women, 10 may at the start. Okay. Anybody else have a number? So I found that like the flake, like what you're talking about is of the original group of girls that you have, that you invite, how many of them show up? It's probably, or say they're going to show up, it's like 5%. Of that 5% who say that confirm, 50% of them reconfirm, and then 50% of them actually show up. So for me, initially, you're right. It's about 10 or 15% of girls are actually going to show up. So like it's 85% of them end up from the original saying that they're interested to showing up. So like what we say in sales, call to close. So from call to close for us, it's like 15%. Once you do bigger, like for me, it's probably, I had 51 girls say that they were going to come to my birthday party, and I think we had 45 show up. So if you were to do like something that has a little bit more cachet, like Bilzerian's party, it's like 80% of the, no more than that, like 90% of the girls show up. The Maxim party, it's like 80%. So as you build up, it actually gets easier and easier, and the flake rate decreases. You're going to find this as an employer. You're going to find this as a guy who dates women. You're going to find that as your offer gets better, that's why I love the book, $100 Million Offer by Alex Hormozi. As the offer gets better, the flake rate decreases. Listen to me, guys. It's the first piece of information you guys need to understand. If your flake rate is high, it's because your offer isn't good. It's actually not because your game isn't good, because she's not even showing up to experience your game. So it's not because your game isn't good. If the flake rate is high, it's because the offer isn't good. So increase the offer. That's one of the things we work on really, really hard in this program, is increasing the offer. And the offer can be, like, if you're a super good looking guy, you don't have to worry about the offer. You're the offer. But if you're a rich guy, you don't have to worry about the offer. You are the offer. But for the rest of us, there's certain things we have to do with our offer. Like, again, it could be anything from charity event to red carpets to social media to collaboration to, there's a bunch of different things, free food, whatever. For real estate agents, it might be open house, high network clients. For venture capitalists, there's a bunch of different things that you could look for, but there's always an offer. And the better the offer is, say it with me, guys, the better the offer is, the lower the flake rate. The better the offer, the lower the flake rate. That's in all types of sales or any type of like persuasive type of communication. The better the offer, the lower the flake rate. So the question was, he said before, is if am I going to get 8 girls to show up? And here's the crazy thing that's happened. For the last 3 Access Vegas in a row, we've had 0 girls flake on us. Zero. And the reason why is because girls are coming on the show on Access Vegas, and they're actually seeing clips of themselves go viral on social media, and they're telling their friends. So as Access, so it used to be, we'd book 12 girls and have 4 show up when we first started. Or it would be like the girl I was dating and then like 3 other girls or something like that. Or it was like, I'd have to like work super hard to get girls to show up. I remember one Access Vegas, it was Jamie Lynn and then 2 girls from the Miss Nevada World Championship. So there was just 5 of us on the show. It was a really good show, but I had so many girls flake that day. I had 3 girls on the show, right? Go back and watch. It was one of the best shows we did, by the way, right? So what happened was, as the show got better and girls started getting notoriety from Access Vegas, the flake rate went down. And so now, I had 14 girls. Did you guys see the episode where the girl had the puppy? It was Allie Adams. She had a puppy with her. Allie was like a backup. And I just said, I told her to show up because I figured girls were going to flake. No one flaked. We had 14 girls on the show. We had 16 people at that table at one point. So we haven't had girls flake in the last 3 weeks, not one. Isn't that crazy? So that's what happens. As the offer gets better, the flake rate decreases. If you have a high flake rate, it's not because of your game. It's because your offer isn't good enough. What does the offer consist of? How do we deliver the offer? Well, generally, we deliver the offer on social media. That's one of the main ways. There's other ways you can do it, but that's the main way you're going to deliver the offer. Okay, and the offer could be different things. Another thing, I did meet Marcus Wolf. I met Marcus Wolf in person. If you guys want to ask me about that, Marcus and I met at an event, the FHM party that was at Inferno that was nearby here. Dane, you look cool, buddy, but I don't know if I'm going to call on you because you look like somebody just gave you some Ritalin, buddy. So the thing is, I met Marcus and it was cool. It was actually, we didn't even know each other existed a month ago. And so now we met at that party. So that was an interesting time. But yeah, we're going to talk about the importance of the offer. If you guys are having trouble in any walk of life, it's generally, if you're not getting the leads to show up when they say they're not showing up to the call, or the girl's not showing up to the date, it's because your offer isn't good enough. So we need to increase the offer. We need to better the offer. If you just do that, you're going to be shocked at how much better things get, how much quicker they turn around. Okay. Just a couple things coming up. Swimsuit US. So we're going to be doing Access Vegas on Wednesday with Fresh and Fit. On Thursday is going to be Vegas, or it's a MOA. I'm sorry. This week is a Vegas immersion. They're teaching Vegas immersion downstairs in my building right now. For the whole month or for the whole week is Vegas immersion. On Thursday is going to be MOA Summit, and it's going to be Casey Herzog, Ashkan Beheshti, Miguel Colon, Rollo Tomasi, and myself are going to be up there speaking at MOA Summit. We're going to be doing a speech, and then that night is going to be a bikini competition. It's a costume competition. It's the sexiest costume competition that we're going to be doing at Tao nightclub. You guys are all invited to that. It's off season. It's not super busy at this time of year. The week before Halloween, there's costume competitions at every nightclub. So I'm hosting the one at Tao for $5,000. Gonna be a ton of girls there. If you guys want to show up, you could probably just say my name at the door and they're just going to let you in. It's not going to be difficult. A Thursday in October is a good time to come to Las Vegas. Very easy to get in any club you want. So if you guys are interested in that, stop on by. Then what's going to happen is we're going to have a graduation for immersion on Saturday. On Sunday, Kylie, myself, and I forgot if Rollo's coming. He might be coming. We're going to be going to Swimsuit USA's World Championship. And that's the 1 year anniversary for Kylie and I. We met a year ago, actually on the 18th, so a couple days ago. And we met at Swimsuit USA's World Championship. I was there with 70 girls. Remember, guys, we talk about the access, right? So access, because I was friends with this girl named Sierra Nowako, I'm still friends with Sierra, and I are going to co-host the show. Because that happened, she put me in contact with Swimsuit USA. I start hosting Swimsuit USA. And so every year I go to Swimsuit USA with 70 girls. The odds are pretty good in your favor when you're there with 70 girls. And so I met Kylie there, and then we've been together for a year since then. So that's one of the great things about using networking in order to go to places where you have a ratio of 7 girls to every guy. That's about what I like. The optimal for me is about 7 girls for every guy. You're at that point, it's not game anymore. When you're in a place where it's regularly 7 girls to every guy, that's not game. 2 girls to every guy, you're actually going to do pretty well. 7 girls to every guy, that's a Playboy Mansion party. That's an Ignite party. That's Dan Bilzerian's house. That's 7 girls to every guy is that ratio right there. And we teach you kind of how to get to that place. Babes in Toyland is probably 4 girls to every guy, that ratio. But like what we're looking is about 7 to 1. That's probably the best one to find. So those are the 2 different things that we talked about so far. Number 1, if you're getting a high flake rate, then your offer needs to improve. And number 2, if you can go to places where the ratio of is better, you're just going to have an easier time. Where actually the people you're looking after are looking for you or competing for your attention. That's always going to be the best. Consider like a male nurse who works at a hospital, and it's like 2 male nurses and 47 female nurses. That guy is just going to like breathe and get laid. Like it's not going to be very difficult. So that's we're going to talk about. So we always want a better ratio. Dr. Buss talks about the fact that there are 54% females on the University of Texas campus and 46% men, which if you do the math, that means it's 17% more men than women on the campus, or women than men on the campus. Well, if you take all the weird dudes out of the equation, like the freshmen who are just weird, and you just look at the dudes who actually have their shit going together, like you have such a massive advantage being a man on that campus when there's 17% more women than men. That's a pretty huge advantage. And that's what he talks about in the book. More women are going to college than men. And so that's the reason why that happens. So we want a better offer and we want a better ratio. Those two things, we haven't even gotten into game. We're not even talking about game stuff. We're just talking about like logistical things that make our lives easier. Okay, cool. We're Nasi. What is the question you want to ask? Go ahead and type it, dude. I gotta be honest with you, brother. Unless you turn your camera on, I don't really trust you. I don't really trust you, brother. We're Nasi. Okay, cool. So we're gonna go to Georgie. Again, I have a little. If you're not going to turn your camera on and I don't know who you are, I'm not going to call on you. Sorry. Okay, We're all right. Awesome, brother. Sorry. Spotlight for everyone. I am in book. I think the 5th book, Lady of the Lake, for the Witcher Chronicles. Have you read that one? I don't have any audio. Can you guys hear him? Cool. So apparently he jumped off the call. All right, cool. Something happened there. We're gonna go to John. We're gonna go to Georgie. Georgie, what's your question? Georgie, go ahead and unmute. We're gonna try this again. I didn't give you the ability to unmute. That was my fault. Go ahead, Georgie, unmute yourself.
Hi, thanks, Michael. Pleasure having the chance to speak with you. My name's Georgi. Just a quick question about fixing Instagram. I released some romantic pop songs on Spotify last year, and the lyrics are quite needy. Musically, the songs are okay, but now I've committed myself to the genre of drum bass. My lyrics are better. So the question is, should I remove my old songs because now I'm committing to one genre, and I also don't want to showcase myself as being needy, given the program and what I've been learning from watching you? Or is it better to demonstrate competency in writing music until I have more drum-based content and just keep my old songs uploaded for now?
Yeah, I get this question a lot, and that is like, I've changed. Should I leave my old stuff up? And generally, I'm going to tell you probably yes, because even if they were mistakes that you made, like, have you guys ever seen the old videos of like Andrew Tate? And he's like, he looks different, like he looks like a skinny young kid, right? But it's not embarrassing. It just kind of shows that you've grown, right? You'll see that with me. You'll see that with a bunch of other content creators. They'll show content from when they were younger, and then it's not embarrassing. It's just something that you have to you learn from. I don't think it's that big of a deal. And you're right, dude. There is a lot of beta simp music that's out there, but I personally, I would probably leave it up. I have some old, pretty embarrassing videos that I recently put up on my YouTube that I'm not going to take down just because they're a little embarrassing.
Okay, cool. Hey, thank you.
Yeah, no problem. And yeah, you're right. Competency is pretty important. Dude, like for instance, Lil Wayne, where he goes, "It ain't tricking if you got it." It is tricking, even if you got it. That's still tricking. Like, that's embarrassing. Or he goes, "What is was it the one T.I. says? You can have whatever you like." T.I. is still a G, right? But that's kind of a simpy ass fucking song. I wouldn't tell T.I. is like, "Hey man, you got to take that song down because you look like a simp," even though he does look like a simp. You know what I'm saying? It ain't
yeah, that's a really good example.
You can have whatever you like. Yeah. That's fucking like that's such blue pill, just beta shit, right? But he still, I still like T.I. T.I. has some fucking awesome songs, but like that's the way, that's just how shit rolls sometimes. I would not sit there and try to hide my past. I would sit there and just kind of deal with it. I don't think it's that embarrassing, any of the stuff that you're saying. Like what kind of stuff are you talking about?
So those are mostly like breakup songs, and so it was like, I don't know, the lyrics would be I
need you back kind of shit.
Yeah, like that kind of
that's
shit.
Fine. Yeah. Hey guys, listen, I want you guys all to understand. If a girl cheats on you, it's gonna hurt. I'm not telling you it's not gonna hurt. And I'm gonna tell you something else. If you're a fucking super pimp, you'll still get cheated on. You will. It'll happen, bro. Did you guys see the video? Or somebody was talking about this the other day. It was Kris Kardashian with Robert Kardashian. And he was saying, Kris was like, "I never had to pay for anything. He was really good to me. I never had to open my door." And she still cheated on him. She still cheated on him with a man who transitioned to become a woman, with Bruce Jenner. She still cheated on him. You know what I'm saying? We probably just got kicked off of YouTube because I said the words Bruce Jenner. So what is that called? What's that called? Doxing, anti-doxing, or whatever. It's like when you name someone incorrectly. Back in the 70s, his name was Bruce Jenner. Okay. Yeah, I misgendered them. I'm not misgendering. Caitlyn Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner is now Caitlyn Jenner. I understand that. But Caitlyn Jenner used to be Bruce Jenner. Caitlyn Jenner was not in the Olympics. Bruce Jenner was in the Olympics as a decathlete. But she ends up cheating on him. Like he does all that shit and still ends up getting cheated on. You see the thing with Logan Paul. Guys, Logan Paul has more options with women than all of us combined. And he's still getting, he's getting the short end of the deal here with this Dylan Dennis thing. We see it all the time. It's not dead naming. There you go. It's not beta. It's not the L to get cheated on. It really isn't. If a girl cheats on you, she's actually doing you a favor. Always remember that. Always remember that. If a guy really doesn't want to work for you and he quits, he's always doing you a favor. Always. If a girl cheats on you, she's always doing you a favor. That's not the L. What's the L? The L is when you take her back. And then you try to explain to your friends that nothing happened, and then she cheats on you again. That's the actual L. The L isn't getting, everybody gets cheated on. The L is actually when you take her back, when you don't define those boundaries. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
So cool. Hey, Dane, if you keep doing that, I'm going to have to kick you off, buddy. I know what I need you to do is maybe take a little deep breath or maybe run around the room. Okay. Yeah. I'm not calling on you when you're like acting hyper and crazy like that. It's understand your age group is like kind of the age group that I want to talk to, Dane. But the problem is like, it's the hyper, like dab, crazy, like Jake Paul shit. I'm not going to have that on the show because we're all trying to become millionaires here. So it's cool. You can sit there and watch, but the more distracting, junior high shit that you do, like the less likely I am to call on you. Got it, buddy? Okay. Treat it like a classroom. You're getting $100,000 per semester education right here. Just make sure you pay attention in class. Okay. That's what's going on. Let's go to John. John, what's your question? Oh, sorry, John. My bad. I got to remember, I can't let you guys unmute yourselves just because there's a bunch of spurgs that come on here. I have to do the unmuting. Please remind me.
Hi, Michael.
Pretty sure I'm going to get killed for saying the word spurg. That's the next thing that's going to happen. All right, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I got two questions, if that's okay. So the first quick one is, so you're inviting girls, like obviously right now on Instagram, you can't send photos of the venue anymore. Once you send a DM, you can't send another one unless you maybe reply to her stories. So is that the case now? Then you just have to do that.
If somebody wants to write in the chat, John, have you been on the regular MOA calls?
Yeah, I have. Yeah. No, I haven't. Sorry, no.
You haven't been on there recently. Okay, so I'm going to show you, John. I'm going to pull up my Instagram here real quick. I really should have done today's call on my other computer because this one's going real slow. Stand by. We're going to go to Instagram. Stand by. Let me see if I can find one because I'm inviting girls to. Let me see here. We'll do one with Brittany. Okay, we'll use Brittany here. Okay, so I want to show you what happens. This is for all of you guys out there that are having this issue. You're like, hey, Michael, I want to invite a ton of girls to an event, but when I do so, the firewall doesn't allow me to do it. Well, so here's the solution, right? You can't use a photo, but what you can do is put a link in there. Do you see the link right here, John?
It's your own post on your grid, right?
No, but this is actually from Tao Nightclub's post. So what you'll do is you'll find a collage or you'll post a collage and you'll put the link to the collage in here. And that way a photo goes through without you actually sending a photo. Does that make sense?
Got it. Yeah.
You can always link to a YouTube video and that'll pop up in what's called a preview, or you can link to an Instagram post and it'll pop up.
All right, that's pretty good. You can only message one. Like the thing is, you can only DM once, right? But you can DM again in a reply.
Yeah, you can DM. So here we go. Like I'm just going to give the game away here, but this is why you guys came on the call. So listen to me. Ready? Instagram has this firewall where basically you can message a girl one time for free and then it's done. You can't message her again if she does not accept your message request. Except there's one way around this, and I'm going to regret saying this on YouTube because as soon as I say this, Instagram's going to patch this. You can reply to girls' stories. If you reply to their stories, you can do it infinite times. You can get right past the firewall. Firewall defeated. Firewall defeated. Okay, that's essentially how you make that work. Okay, if anyone are confused about it, and you're like, well, Michael, I also can't send media, so I can't send videos or photos. Easy. You put a link in there, like I showed you. The link will then link back to something else on Instagram, and so she can see it very easily. So it'll go back to a carousel. Firewall defeated. Now, here's the thing. Is that for those of us who are in Men of Action, is that firewall, is that good for us or bad for us? Write in the chat. Is it good for us or bad for us? Is that firewall good for us or bad for us? If you guys are in Men of Action. Rithik says good. Anybody else? What do you guys think? Hold on, let me check out here. I'm going to help you guys out. Portable photographers. Anybody else? Good. Jane says good. Beautiful. Okay. So the answer is good for us. Why is it good for us? You might say, how does a firewall make it easy, make it better for us in MOA? And the reason why is all the fucking weird spammers from Jakarta, all the weird spam bots that are from India and Brazil and all those other places, they don't know what I just told you. They don't know that you can reply to stories. So now they only get to send one message and now they're fucked. So what the firewall has done is it made it harder for everyone. But because we're actually real people, we're not bots, we actually found a way to get around the firewall, whereas everyone else is going to act like huge businesses have been shut down because of that firewall, because now they just can't send messages to people anymore. So like the number of like spammy messages they can send has been cut down by 98%. But we actually found a way around it. And the reason why we found a way around it is, number one, we don't send spam. I don't spam people. I send offers. If I say, hey, do you want to come to the Maxim party? That's not spam. That's an offer. You guys see the difference? Spam is not an offer. Spam is like super, super low cost marketing for something that's usually not worth it. Whenever somebody has to spam you to try to get you to buy something, you generally understand you're getting the short end of the stick. When I send an offer, my offer is generally they're getting value for whatever they're doing. Okay. Yeah. So they can, Facundo is saying it correctly. They can only send, I want to see Bob's and Vagine once. They can only send that one time. So that's correct. So because they've made it harder for everyone, just imagine, right? If you're the only guy who doesn't take performance enhancing drugs on the Tour de France, right? And now you're getting your ass kicked. You're in 40th place. And then one day they come and they say strict testing every single day for PEDs, but you're the only guy who's not cheating. All of a sudden you go to 40th place all the way to first place. That's what happened to us when this new firewall came out, because the Instagram firewall made it better for us because we don't spam people. We send offers. Our invites, you guys saw how short my invite was. Our invites, again, for those of you who are new to Men of Action, our invites are more evidence, fewer words. More evidence. So the evidence is the girl right here. That's Olivia Bertani. You can't see it right here, but if you saw this on your phone, you could see a picture of her. That's Olivia and Bertani and her friend in the sexy costume competition. We're hosting a $5,000 costume. That's done. 5,000. That's pretty big for a costume competition at Tau Las Vegas on October 6th. And then it links back to Tau Las Vegas's page. So that's evidence. It's a nightclub. It's a nightclub in a company. Like Venetian is a publicly traded company. Tau Las Vegas, Tau Hakkasan is it's not a publicly traded company. I think they just went private. But it's owned by Jason Strauss. It's worth $500 million. So there's credibility there. There's a pretty girl. The girl is showing compliance, and it's $5,000. Offer, value, 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 value. That's not spam. You guys see the difference between that and spam? I send that, and then I get responsive. Right now, I have 39 girls coming to compete in this $5,000 bikini or costume competition, and it took me less than an hour to send out all the invites. See how it works? Real simple. You can train a VA to do this also. You guys can use a Loom video to train a VA, and then you could do that really simple. Yes, here's the thing. You guys came on my call today, and you maybe were expecting me to talk about energy and fucking like karma and game theoretical shit. I just gave you real shit. I told you how to get around the Instagram firewall. That is real shit. We talk about real shit in this call. Real actionable stuff that makes your life easier, makes your life better. It helps you grow your network. It's not theoretical. It's actual real stuff. You guys understand? If you're having trouble understanding, everyone else, they like to talk about theory. Theory is cool. I actually enjoy talking about theory. My favorite person on the planet to talk about theory with is one of my best friends, Rollo Tomasi. I love talking about theory. But when we're done talking about theory, about what game looks like and social circle this and blah, 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 social circle this and blah, 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 that or whatever, once theory's done, then we get into action. And this is where Men of Action is different from other programs. This is not Men of Theory, it's Men of Action. And so in other theoretical programs, I get on Twitter and these like Twitter beefs with guys that have 4 followers trying to tell me that what I do doesn't work. And then when they come, I don't get the same thing on Instagram, because when they go on Instagram, what they see is action. They see action being taken. They see success being had. Does that make sense? That's the difference. Other people are going to talk about it. In MOA, we're going to be about it. We're always going to be about it in this program. Okay. For some reason, Instagram is not allowing me to open up any of these images. So that's cool. All right. Got it. Beautiful.
And can I ask one more?
Yeah, go ahead.
So, like, I want to do a podcast, basically, Michael, and like I've got like a list. I've got like a divorce lawyer, and I've got like successful self-development Asian guys, and I've got a studio that I can nearby that I can rent for like $100 an hour. So, I mean, one podcast I want to do is like recently there's been like a lot of Ukrainian girls influx into Scotland, right? And I want to do a podcast with like 4 attractive Ukrainian girls and just DMing them, seeing who's interested. So is messaging them for a podcast the same as inviting them for an event? Like, is there, you need to sign waivers? Like what?
It is, but it's easier.
Yeah.
Especially once you get that first episode out. Once you get that first episode, and by the way, girls really don't look at views on YouTube videos. I don't know why, but they don't. They definitely look at followers on Instagram, but like girls, I think in general, if you were to ask a girl how many subscribers someone has, they just don't seem to know. If you ask them how many subscribers, how many followers their friends have on Instagram, they know immediately. For some reason, that's a number they remember, Instagram followers, but YouTube subs is not something that they notice for whatever reason. If you have a show and it's well produced, they feel like they're on TV. Remember, as men, in general, not all the time, but in men, and where do we get validation from? For men, put what right in MOA. We get our validation from what, and women get their validation from what? If you guys know the answer, write it in the chat. Men, we get our validation from what, and women get their validation from what? Women have this other thing that they like that it's like fucking crack cocaine. That's funny, really? Huh? Okay, there you go. There you go. Sex and attention. Good. Well, you guys got it. Those are guys who are in MOA understand this, okay? Men, we get our validation from sex. Women, they get their validation from attention. Women get their validation from attention, okay? Women need attention like it's crack cocaine. If you give them attention with your cameras and it looks like that's why podcasting is just such a glitch, because what happens with podcasting? They come and hang out with you and they're getting their crack. They're getting their drip feed attention. They're getting their attention. You see what I'm saying? So I'm not going to recommend you all start a podcast because then there'll just be too many podcasts. What I will tell you that if you have an inkling to start a podcast, do it. There's so many advantages to it. People take you more seriously. You just come off looking more credible. If you have any clips that go viral, people just know you for those clips. It's just way easier to get your foot in the door. You can offer to have people on your show, even if they say no, they just see you as more credible. It's a great way to network with people, get women to come on your show. Like, just have a podcast. Like I recommend it. If you're considering it, I recommend doing it. Got it?
So do you need to sign any sort of waivers? And
I don't. So it's really
no.
Great question. So no, I've never signed a waiver coming on a podcast. I've signed waivers. So we sign waivers for bikini competitions, but never podcasts, because I believe it's federal law that states in the United States that me talking into this microphone is consent. So if any of you guys come on my YouTube channel, like we're on YouTube right now, and you guys were to say something, blah, 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 that you really didn't like, oh yeah, and that's when I cheated on my wife. Oh wait, we're on YouTube? You can't make me take the video down. Because you speaking into the microphone, that means consent. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. So
as long as you make sure as long as you make sure that people watching can see that the microphone is visible and that they know they're being filmed, there's nothing, you don't have to get them to sign a waiver.
That's great. Questions wise, you don't prepare questions, do you? Or
I do.
Like,
yeah, of course.
You do, right?
Of course, yeah. Of course.
You're very flowing in your podcast, so it seems like you're just like shooting the shit. But
so we've done so many that I just kind of know where the next place to go, and we go off the rails a lot. But you'll notice, like whenever I do Fresh and Fit, one of the first things they ask me, he goes, "What do you guys want to talk about?" Because they've done so many shows, they like it when people. So someone like me comes on, who I host my own show, they know I'll just take it wherever I want. Like I'm basically like, you know, you have your starting running back. I'm the backup running back, comes in, and I just sit there and pound the defense like that. They can just bring, because they know I can run the ship. You know what I'm saying? They don't need to run plays for me. I'll just do it for myself. So that's why whenever I go on a lot of those shows, they'll just ask me, what do you want to talk about? Make sense?
Yeah. Thanks a lot, Michael.
So yes. Got it. All right, let's go to the next one. Let's go to, hold on. Weary, I'm gonna try this again. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Weary Nazi.
All right, can you hear me now?
Yep, sure can.
Awesome. So I'm going through your reading list, and I'm just listening to Jocko Willink's first book. What was it? Not Dichotomy of Leadership, but
Extreme Ownership.
exactly. And I'm listening to him and Leif Babin. And also when I hear you talk, like you guys that have been to the military, I don't know if it's something connected to the military, but you all seem to speak with a certain sense of conviction.
Yes.
And I also suspect that that carries through and has effects in other areas of your life as well, where you've been through in the military. What do you think is a good analog of that, that somebody can get effects like that in their life and the benefits without necessarily having to go to the military?
Where you say Weary? Is that how you say your name?
Well, this is supposed to be a play on words with very nice, like
very nice. Very nice.
Says it.
Very. Are you German?
Quarter German, 3/4 Bulgarian.
Where did you grow up?
Bulgaria.
Okay. So I mean, it's an interesting question. So the thing is, for us, for me, the answer is immersion. There's three things that I would tell you. Number one is immersion. And what I mean by immersion is consistently speaking with having a level of authority in your voice, even when you don't feel it. Okay. So an example would be like, hey man, just want to let you know, you've been fooled your entire life, but the truth is the sky's green. And no one's had the balls to tell you that it's green. I know you think it's blue, but if you really take a second to look at it, you're going to see the sky's actually green. And the Matrix has been trying to hide it from you for years. They just don't want you to know. They want you to stay poor. They want you to stay ignorant. But the reality is the sky is green. Now, clearly, you heard what I just said. Obviously, I don't think that's true, but I said it like I did. Now, I know that comes off as a little manipulative, but in what I want you to do, though, is you need to be able to control your own tone and tenor. Does that make sense? That's the first thing I want you to do. Second thing is, I want you to have gratitude for your situation. One of the reasons why I don't really have fear of public speaking is because I have so much gratitude for the reality that I'm not sitting there like doing lawn work for a living. I have nothing but respect for people who do lawn work for a living, but that is hard work. People, bricklayers, roofers, plumbers, carpenters, that is hard fucking work. I was not in the infantry in the US Army. I flew an airplane. I have so much gratitude for the fact that I get to talk for a living. So be afraid, bro, afraid. Let me ask you something. Have you ever been in like a public setting and been afraid to say something? Has that ever been an issue for you? The reason why I asked you, by the way, the reason why I asked you is because I have several German clients, and that is, it's generally they are the ones that generally have the biggest issue with this. It's my German clients and my Indian clients. They tend to, these are just mine, this is just my personal experience. I'm not saying all German people are like this, but they tend to have an issue where they care a lot about what other people think. Has this been an issue for you?
So I'm actually quite good at doing presentations. So if I know what I'm going to say, if I have a good idea of what I'm going to say, then I don't have an issue. But if I'm just generally around people, then I tend to be quiet unless I really need something or want something. Other than that, I'm just like in the background.
Yeah. So now here's the thing, right? I want you to just consider a couple of things. I live in a country where a guy fucked a porn star while his wife was pregnant and got elected to become president of the United States. Okay. I live in a country where a fucking guy stabbed his wife and his wife's friend 53 times. And he's making TikTok videos out in Florida with a bunch of white women. And he's getting paid now to do what's it called? A fantasy football podcast. I'm talking about OJ Simpson, a fantasy football podcast. I live in a country where Oliver North led a scandal, the Iran-Contra affair, and became a fucking correspondent for Fox News. I live in a country where a guy did 15 months in federal prison for securities fraud. They made a movie about him. In the movie, he punches his wife in the stomach and then steals his kids to kidnap him. And now we think he's one of the greatest people we've ever seen. I'm talking about the Wolf of Wall Street. You can't fuck up anymore. In fact, the worse you fuck up, the better it is for you. You get more famous. Did anybody see that Billy McFarland is doing Fire Festival 2.0? Did anybody see that? Did anybody fucking see that? And he's on CNN talking about it. Bro, you like one of the reasons why I have no fear about public speaking is because what can I say at this point that's as bad as Caitlyn Jenner literally running over someone, killing them, when she allegedly wasn't drunk, but I think she probably was, killing them, running over a second person, and then being named Woman of the Year 4 months later. Look it up if you think I'm making any of what I just set up. People don't care about shit. People can get away with anything. You want to talk about Logan Paul being embarrassed because his girlfriend has pictures with hundreds of men? How about when the motherfucker walked into a forest in Japan with a dead body hanging from a tree? You guys remember that? And the guy makes probably 20 million a month off his advertisements. He's selling an energy soft drink that's supposedly vegan. By the way, his energy soft drink, it tastes like soy sauce. I could not get the soy sauce taste out of my mouth after I drank his that prime stuff that he had. And I like Logan. I don't dislike Logan. I wish him nothing but the best. I just think he's making a bad decision with his fiance. But my point is, like, you can come back from anything. Do you guys understand? OJ Simpson, anything. Guys, you can come back from anything. It's insane. So again, that was the first thing I said was, fake it till you make it with your voice. The second thing I said is having gratitude and the realization, like, hey man, you can really get away with anything. And the third thing is present moment awareness. Just like being in this moment, making sure that this moment means more than anything else. Don't worry about a future or a past. Just pure and total present moment awareness, like they talk about in The Power of Now. Those three things help me as a public speaker.
Awesome. Thank you.
Okay. I appreciate it, man. Let's go to Nate. Nate, what's your question, man? Nate, give me 1 second. Go ahead and unmute yourself, Nate.
How's it going, Mike?
Hey.
So I saw you with Adam Lyons, and you were saying something about essentially on YouTube and Instagram, you basically have to pay to play now.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I were to start a podcast, how much do you think that would increase startup costs if I just factored in Instagram and YouTube?
So you can still, even though it's pay to play, you can still win with collabs. Collabs are the way around pay to play. The other way around pay to play is to use other social media accounts to lead back to your main one. So for me, I'm definitely still a little stronger on Instagram than YouTube. So I always do things on Instagram that feed back into my YouTube, right? I'll get some people, there's probably a few of you right now watch me on IG Live, and then from IG Live came back and watched me on YouTube. And then once I have you subscribed on YouTube, then I got you, because once you're subscribed on my YouTube channel, you get notifications every time I go live. And so I can keep you in the funnel that way. Does that make sense? That's a way to do it without pay to play. The other thing is, like, if in the next, do you guys remember that little girl who was doing those interviews from her bed, and she did that one interview with Drake? Did you guys see that shit? She's like super awkward. You know, guys know what I'm talking about? I don't know. I forgot what her name is. The point is, this girl had millions of subs after like 5 episodes. And why is it? Because it was like, yeah, Bobby something. She had huge guests. If you can collab big enough, then you can get through it. And then the last thing I'll tell you is long form content. Let's say you have a video that gets 50 views, but you take some short clips out of the long form content and you put that into a 90-second clip, and that clip goes viral. That's the third way to beat pay to play.
Okay. Well, I'm willing to pay to play as long as what I pay for, what I delegate right now, costs less than my typical hourly income. That's my point.
Yeah. So I would look at it. So Nate, the book I would read back is called Buy Back Your Time.
Yeah.
By Dan Martell, and the other book is $100 Million Leads by Alex Hormozi. I would go through those 2 books and then kind of come up with a calculation on how much you should be spending on advertising. So I would look at advertising as almost like a personal, you know how a personal assistant or virtual assistant would like do work for you? The advertising is doing work for you. So you would say, my ad spend would be in proportional to the leads that it generated or the leads that I closed.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I would do some kind of, and those books will help you with that mathematical calculation so you can figure out exactly what your ad spend is. For us, we can't spend enough money on ads because we'll break the system. We get so many leads from our ads, we actually have to like hire more salespeople. So ads is at the limit, right? Ads is already redlined for us. What we need are more, sales team is redlined. Ads we're pushing the throttle all the way down, and the engine's redlining. So we have to grow the sales team. We need a bigger engine. So that's the way like it works for us personally. So that's the way I would look at it, is like, what is, when I do ads, how well is it working? So for us, the other thing is this, Nate, and this is up to you. Remember we talked about an offer in the very beginning of this show. is that if the offer is good, then the ad costs very little and gets you a lot of money. And if the offer is good enough, like there's a couple ways to do this. Number one is taking viral content and turning that into ads. And number two is taking viral content and not having any ads at all, and just putting a link in bio or a link down in the description of your YouTube that leads down your chain to get more clients. When you're using social media to bring clients down a funnel, that's the best way to use it. Using social media to try to make money off AdSense or getting paid from going live on different platforms, that's a really, really rough way to make a living. That's a good way to make a living if it's summertime and you're trying to stream while you're out of school and you're in elementary. Like, I'll tell you right, I'll give you an example. I have a nephew, and my nephew, if he had hit me up, my nephew was like fat and lazy. And my nephew was just like, hey, Uncle Michael, can you buy me, a PlayStation, whatever, because I want to play some, dumb game, whatever. I'd be like, all right, whatever, here's your Christmas gift. But if he hit me up and he said, hey, Uncle Michael, can I get a streaming setup so that I can stream on Twitch, Kick, Rumble, and YouTube all at the same time, and I want to use the AdSense in order to like set up a college fund so I can go to college, I would pay for all of his stuff. Could you imagine? Like I would, if he told me that he was like willing to, it was something I could invest in, I'd pay for everything. I'd pay for everything, because that's a very different way to do it. What he's doing is he's using something that he would do anyway. Like, dude, there were periods in my life where if you're like, hey, Michael, we're going to pay you to play video games for 12 hours a day, I could have done it. When I was 17-year-old Michael Sartain could have made a living doing that. I'll tell you right now, I wouldn't have any issue. So I could have played Madden. You better believe Madden 94. If I could have played that for money, I would be a rich man right now. Okay. So I mean, I'm just telling you, man, if you can build a funnel where it's like you do content that you want to do anyway, and that leads people down a funnel to make sales, and those sales now propagate your media, that's the best way to do it. The hard way to do it is a podcast where you have sponsors. You can definitely do that at some point. The problem is those sponsors are going to go through you for like maybe a year or 6 months, and then they're going to drop you because they don't get any sales from you. Or if you try to do it from AdSense or just revenue from live streaming or like super chat, stuff like that. The super chat way works really well if you have a huge audience. Like, you can make a living if you're a Brian Atlas and you're doing whatever podcast, 100%, you can make a comfortable living doing that. Several $100,000 a year doing that, because he gets super chat, $100 super chats on like several different platforms. So, I mean, if you told me Brian Atlas was pulling in $400,000 a year from super chats on different platforms, I would believe you. I mean, he probably makes a lot of money. And Fresh and Fit, like they make money from super chats, although they were demonetized. Although I don't think Myron's that worried about it. I heard Myron said the other day he bought his 16th house. Myron has bought his 16th property. I'm going to ask him about it on Wednesday. I think that's amazing. He's taking his properties, he's taking the rents from his properties to go put down payments down on new, and refinancing his properties to put down payments on new properties. And then he has more properties, and he's getting, like, each one of these properties is like a business that's paying him money every month. That's fucking crazy.
So would you say that you would brand from the very beginning?
I would. Okay. I think the most important thing about making content is not the branding from the very beginning. The most important part making content is, are you comfortable doing this 100 times?
Yeah.
So I got to episode 100 of my podcast. I'm at 103, 104 this week, I think. And the way I got there was, I have a studio that I actually enjoy going to. They've got a little coffee machine, and they got snacks, and I got a comfortable chair, and the producers are funny, and it's 11 minutes away from my apartment. And I actually enjoy going there. So I did 104 episodes from there. It was great. Bulzarian and I were talking about him doing a podcast or him doing some kind of content like this. And one of the things we discussed, what I was discussing with him was, I said, it's really important. I would say this to Dan or anyone else, you feel super comfortable with whatever you're doing. So like you guys see Chris Williamson, he does one from his home. You can see his living room behind him. He's standing up and he's got those headphones in, right? If you ever see Rich Cooper does he's got a camera off to his right, and he stands up or sits down and he does it, and he's got the Laurel hardware couch behind him, and he does his episodes all from there. If you watch Destiny, what is Destiny doing? He's eating, he's just eating while he's fucking doing his show. Sometimes you can see it's just like his house behind him. He just looks really comfortable. He's in a place where he can do this every day. I guarantee you his chair where he works is not 50 feet away from where he sleeps. Rolo, he has a studio built in his house. So having a comfortable, easy place to continually make content, even when the content doesn't do very well, I think that's the most important thing. More important than branding. The thing about branding is this. I see a lot of people making this mistake. Start off by having an idea what you want to talk about, then let the audience tell you what they want, and then go back and rebrand after that.
Okay. Yeah, I've been talking to Shar that you referred me to, and just getting the ball rolling on that to see what she can.
No, Shar is definitely going to help you with your branding. Shar is definitely, that's her specialty. But my most important thing for me,
content creation too. So
yeah, the most important thing I'm going to tell you though is when you do these things, are they easy for you to do?
Right.
Is it easy for you to repeat? If it gets super hard for you to repeat these things, you're going to quit really quick. Most podcasts don't go past 10 episodes.
Okay.
I knew when I did the first episode of Michael Sartain podcast, I knew no matter what happened, I was going to keep going. And then I got 1,000 views for my first video, which is pretty rare. And after I did it, people kept watching, and I was like, the idea of me not continuing to do the show, because I was sending people down a funnel and the funnel was making me money, because that's what I was doing, then I never had to worry about having ads or having not a lot of views. So like the episode that we just did, let me highly recommend anyone who is watching this right now, let me highly recommend you guys watch the episode we did last week, which is the team from Men of Action coming on there and talking about the business. The reason why I'm recommending it is because if you guys want to learn how to scale a business from, say 5 figures to 7 figures, this is a real life case study on how to do it. If, let me see if I can pull it up here. No, here we go. There it is right here. If you do that, then I would watch the episode. But I also knew that when that episode came out, it wasn't going to be super popular. I knew it wasn't going to be super popular, and it wasn't. It's like, it's only got 3,000 views on my channel, but everyone who watched this episode was like, man, this is one of the best episodes that I've seen. There's Shar right there. This is one of the best episodes I've seen on your channel. And then people are now joining MOA because they watched this video. So do you see how it got not a ton of views, but people converted to join the company because they watched the video? This video had so much care taken. There's so much work put into this from all of us working together and coming up with all this stuff. That's why this video that's why this video helped us out so much as far as leads, but the video didn't get a ton of views, right? So that's the other thing I would look at is like, and that's what branding will do, is it kind of gives you the ability to look at those things.
Gotcha.
Okay. Now, the ultimate is like you're Joe Rogan. Like literally you have breadth and depth. You have some people who watch your clips and then some people who watch your 3-hour-long podcast. That's the ultimate, right? That's what you'd want. As a content creator, he's kind of lives in the sweet spot. He could probably make $1 million an episode off advertisement because he has so many people trying to advertise on his show. And then he does the show. He talks about what he wants to talk about. His studio is built in his house. Like he is the ultimate example of what I'm talking about. Okay. Studio's built in the house. Any guest he wants, live where he wants, eats where he wants, goes to the gym every day, does what he wants for a living, enjoys it, has fun while he's talking to people, long form content, short form clips make tons of fucking go viral. You guys, if you consider how many people watched the entire episode of him and Elon Musk talking versus how many people saw that image of Elon Musk. Remember when he's smoking the blunt? Remember that? He's smoking. Everyone remembers Elon smoked a blunt on Joe Rogan. Very few people remember what the episode was about. Just because that short clip kept your attention. And so that's what's so helpful is the idea that you have long form and you have short form. You have breadth and depth. Well, I will tell you this, if you guys are selling a product, the people who follow your long form content are just better leads. There's way better leads. They're just because they understand your concept. Like there might be some people who look at MOA and they're like, well, Michael, there's no way that what you're doing is real. Clearly, I just got attacked on Twitter today because they think that I pay women to come hang out with me. Those of you who are involved in Men of Action, if you're not involved in Men of Action, you're going to see something like this and you're going to be like, well, obviously he pays these girls to hang out with him. But if you're not involved, if you are involved with Men of Action, you're like, oh, okay, no, he knows how to build a better offer. And because of that, these girls want to come hang out with him. He understands that. My girlfriend had no idea if I had a penny when we met. She had no clue. We met on a resort in Mexico, right? Where I was hosting a contest that she was in. I asked her, I was like, yeah, I have a podcast. She goes, what's a podcast? She was 20 years old when we met. She didn't know what a podcast was. the people are like, well, obviously she's only with you because of money. But it's like, well, that's not true. If you're in MOA, you understand you understand these concepts. If you're not in MOA, you don't understand that. And so if someone's taken my long form content, then they would look at the long form content. They'd be like, okay, Michael's explained how this works. I like this. This is cool. If you haven't taken the long form content, you're like, scam. This must be a scam. It's obviously a scam, right? It's like, no, it's pickup. Pickup is better. Pickup's better than, social circle. You have to believe that, because if you don't, then you look at my content, you're like, this doesn't make sense. This doesn't fit with my life. You see what I'm saying? So the trick, Nate, another trick I would tell you is if you can get them to follow long form content, if you can get them down that funnel to follow long form content, then you'll get some sales. Not every single person who is in MOA watches the podcast, or I'm sorry, that's not true. We don't get a ton of leads for MOA from the podcast, but everyone in MOA watches the podcast. So there's a correlation with all of them. A few of them we get just from the podcast, but most of the time we'll get up from clips that lead them into the podcast, and then they end up buying the program. See what I'm saying? Building trust.
Right.
Did that answer your question?
That answers it. Thanks for your time.
You want, exactly. Facondo's correct. Skin in the game, time. The pound of flesh is you watching the show. You understand, like, there's a certain type of person that's going to sit here and watch a 3-hour show of me talking. For those of you who are watching right now, I'm not sitting there bashing anyone, but I've given you hardcore information to improve yourself. Improve yourself type of individuals, people who like that type of information, they become millionaires, billionaires, problem solvers. Say it to yourself. Problem solvers become millionaires. When you talk to your girl and your girl's like, blah, 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 blah. It's like, okay, here, honey, here's how we solve the problem. She's like, I don't want to solve the problem. I just want you to listen to me. That type of mentality is good for getting laid. It is not good for becoming a millionaire. Okay. Millionaires solve problems. Say it with me. Billionaires solve problems. If you saw, so we're on this podcast right now today, we're on the show, and I'm saying, how do we get past the Instagram firewall? Done. Problem solved. Firewall defeated. We talked about that in the last hour. Okay. So if you see that, this is a problem-solving podcast. Individuals who want to solve problems and become millionaires and billionaires and have an awesome social life and become better with women, those people will sit through this podcast and they'll take this information and run with it. But I won't get 50,000 people to watch. Why would they? Why would 50,000 people? I haven't called anyone a cuck on the show at all. I haven't bashed any, and I got another threat from that fucking moron in Brazil. You guys know the one I'm talking about. He threatened me again today. Like, I could sit there and talk about this all the time. Go viral in 2 seconds. What do I care? Like, that's not what I want to do. I want to solve problems. Now, later on in the second and third hour, if you guys want to get into a beef with somebody, we can talk about that. But that's essentially what I'm trying to tell you. Okay.
All right.
Make sense?
Makes sense, man. Thank you.
Cool. All right. I'm going to regret this so badly. Dane, I'm going to give you a chance. If you scream or act crazy, I'm kicking you off the call. Okay, Dane? 3, 2, 1. Dane, go ahead and unmute yourself. Dane, what's your question, brother?
Yo. Oh my gosh, bro. My freaking mic is broken or something.
No, Dane, we can hear you fine. Go ahead and slowly take a deep breath and then ask your question, Dane.
All right.
All right, Dane, I'm going to give you 5. I'm going to give you 5 seconds, Dane. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Ask your question.
Nigga.
All right, Dane. That's awesome, man. Like, I just one of the issues is like this. So, like, no, let's keep Dane. We muted him, but like, let's understand this. This is another thing that's going on. You'll have an opportunity at certain points in your life to like actually make a change and do something with your life. And this is going to be the difference between like being like, you understand, we have like an entire society of kids. And what are they doing right now? They're becoming, like, you can see Dane's a little overweight. He's a little chunky. They're becoming overweight. They're becoming, they're like screaming the N-word on stuff. They don't have any control over their emotions. They do crazy kind of stuff like this. The problem is when they get older, this is going to translate to unemployment. It's going to translate into not being able to find a girlfriend. They're going to, yeah, exactly. Like Neon. Exactly. And they're going to look up to that. And what's going to happen is, like, for someone like me, like, people like Dane are not going to be employable. They're going to sit there and they're going to be like, Dane is, I hope he gets used to that room, because he's going to be living with his parents for probably the next 30 years. Because when you have the opportunities, yeah, it's funny. So again, yeah, no, cool. Will you leak my IP? Cool. Hey, Dane, I got a better idea. I'll tell you where I live. Do you want to come by? Why don't you, I'll tell you where I live. You can come on by. Oh, Dane got off. He got off the call pretty quick. All right. So do you see what I'm saying? Like he sat on the call for an hour and 8 minutes just to scream out the N-word. Do you guys understand when I talk about, so a couple things. Kids don't want to work. I know I sound so fucking old when I say this, but bro, I have been traveling all over the country trying to catch Ubers. Has anyone else noticed the Uber is like 17, 18, 20 minutes to get your fucking Uber now? Nobody wants to fucking work anymore, bro. You wonder where this comes from. Like, again, I love the fact that there's these content creators that do funny stuff, but PewDiePie and Jake Paul and Logan Paul, they're not bettering you. What's the guys who do the trick shots? The guys from A&M, the trick shot guys. Dude Perfect is not making you better. The guys who are trying to make you better, what are they doing? They're teaching you about business and masculinity. They're being shamed on the internet. Who's being glorified? The people who are teaching you dab, 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 woke ideology, they're being glorified on the internet. Just know that as a man, you're always going to be judged on your performance. And, I hope, like, I don't mean anything, hope anything bad happens to this kid, Dane, who waited an hour and 9 minutes in order to do that. But my whole point is, I do feel sorry for the fact that, like, okay, do you guys remember when I told you before, when I was 20, girls weren't interested in me, and now that I'm 45, girls want to come home with me and my girlfriend all the time. Even if my girlfriend wasn't bi, like, they always want to come home with us. Why is that? It's because my competition is just one derivative away from Dane. The 20-year-olds I compete with are one derivative away from Dane. Overweight, like no ability to concentrate, like that. That's who I have to deal with. They're one derivative away from Dane is Machine Gun Kelly, Tekashi 6ix9ine, Post Malone. Facial tattoos. Don't get me wrong, Post Malone's a very talented performer, but like drug addiction, facial tattoos, just weird mannerisms, like that's my competition now versus me. It's like, oh, what do I have going for me? Well, I have a successful business. I work for a brokerage. I know for brokerage, but I'm a feature trader at a stock option brokerage. I work for a hedge fund, and I'm a retired U.S. military officer with 500 combat hours. Like, oh, but that's who they're competing with. That's who, and I'm competing with not Dane. Dane's too young, obviously, but dab. That's who I'm competing with. Who's that other kid who comes on here every week? Or I forgot his name. You guys write his name. I wish he was here today. I don't know. I don't see him. But that kid who comes on and he always has like good questions. Like, can you guys feel one of them is going, Cade? Can you guys feel one of them is going to be someone? I'd like to hire Cade today. If I could buy call options on Cade, I'd buy them today. If I could buy a piece of Cade, like if I could buy like 10% of Cade's upside, I would do it. I'd be a million. Cade is going to be wealthy. I can tell. He listens, he follows directions. He's already working on self-improvement. If I could short, that other kid, whatever, I already forgot the kid's name. If I could short him, I would. You see what I'm saying? My point is, Dane, the point is, when it comes to this, you guys, before I felt like it was a competitive marketplace where you had to compete in order to get ahead. I don't even think you guys have to compete anymore. I think you just show up. I think if you just show up, you're better than everyone else. You want to know what makes MOA great? We don't lie about anything. I don't have to. At no point did I say I'm going to guarantee you guys $100,000 a month income and you're going to fuck 10 strippers. At no point did I ever say any of that. I just don't lie. I just tell the truth. If I tell the truth, I'm already in like the top 10% of businesses. That's all you got to do is like show up every day, tell the truth, have some fucking integrity. I know I sound very old for saying this. I totally understand I do. But I just feel like it's so easy to get the top 10% right now. You just saw your competition. That's all you have to worry about, guys. It's so easy. That's all, bro. That's it. Like I know it sounds funny. Sean, you're old enough to know this. It kind of is a bunch of Danes out there now. That's kind of who just 26% of men are virgins under the age of 30. Like, what are the odds you think Dane's going to be a virgin when he's 30, 40, 50? It's kind of obvious. Do you guys see it? Like it's just right there. So anyway, cool. Toyin, what's your question?
Hey, Mike. So the next shoot I'm doing isn't until January, but
okay.
Some of the girls I speak to, like on Instagram, sometimes I get into phone conversations and the girls are like really, really friendly. So I want to try to do a couple social events before the next shoot in January. So should I invite them to like those social things? Like I wanted to go like dancing, I want to like play basketball, or do you think
Guys, what is my answer going to be? Put it in the chat. What is my answer going to be? Toyin, you've been involved with us long enough. What is my answer going to be? Should I invite them to other social things?
I mean,
should I invite them to other social? That's what you asked, bro. Guys, for real. Like when you ask the question, one of the greatest skill I can give you is not to join MOA so I can give you all the answers. The greatest skill I can give you is for you to be able to have critical thinking. Remember, pillar 4 is critical thinking, is for you to have enough critical thinking to come up with the answers for yourself. So what I'd like for you guys to do, especially if you're in Men of Action, is when you ask the question, say what you think the answer is going to be first. By the way, in the military, we do the same thing. If you go to the colonel with a problem, for those of you in the military, you know the answer to this. If you go to the colonel with a problem, you have to also go to him with a solution. If you go to the colonel with a problem, you have to also bring him a solution. Okay? Any of you guys who've been in the military, you know this is how it works. So Toyin, if you're going to ask the question, have an idea what the answer is going to be. Otherwise, what's happening is I'm becoming a crutch for you. I'm just becoming a crutch. So it's like, well, Michael will just answer the question. Well, obviously, yes, Mike. Do as much social stuff as you can, Toyin. You're not 100% of the way there with your social interactions. So you just want to do more of them. Anything you can do to do more of them. Also, Toyin, there's 6 event types. So do one of each. Do all 6 event types. Don't just do photo shoots. Yeah, Nate's correct. A queef contest for $5,000. Could you imagine how disgusting that room would smell after like the 4th competitor? And like, here's the other thing. The woman who wins, like how grotesque do you think she, oh my God, a queef contest? Like, can you imagine? Like just the idea of it. You could film it. I don't want to see it.
Okay, so 6 events. So, okay, so photo shoots, fashion shows, game nights, sports, and
no, just look again, one more time. Toyin, I would very much like you to go back through Men of Action. You're in the program and look at the section called the event types.
Okay.
Refer to the program. Okay.
Okay. And I was going to ask my next question, but I guess should I?
No, ask it, but then tell me what the answer is also.
Okay. So I was gonna ask you what other things besides having big influencers and celebrities to come increase my show up rate. So
so how do you increase the offer? Is what you're asking.
Yeah.
How do you better? Okay. So now, Toyin, I'm going to ask you, what do you think I'm going to say to increase the offer? What do you think I'm going to say? What are some other things? So forget celebrities and influencers. What are some other things? By the way, the answer is in a module in MOA called taking value versus giving value. There's a thing in there called taking value versus giving value. Okay. So go ahead, Toyin. What do you think?
Just making sure that my Instagram is fixed. Giving.
Okay, that's fine. So you don't know. So again, open bar, giving value. Red carpet, where girls get their photos taken by Getty Photos, giving value. The ability to collab with other influencers, giving value. We're all going to dress up in a suit and gowns, giving value. Well, here, let me give you some information on this charity, giving value. We're going to feature you in this charity. Can you on their social media, giving value. We're going to put you on our podcast. We're going to put you on our in our social media on this clip, and we're going to tag you in it, giving value. Okay. Hey, come to my table and fuck my client and do this cocaine, taking value. That's taking value. If a girl's never been to Vegas before and you're like, hey, I have a comp table to go, or I have a comp dinner over at Beauty in Essex, that's giving value. If a girl's been living in Vegas for 10 years and you say, hey, I have a comp table over at Beauty in Essex, that's taking value. Okay. So there's giving value and taking value. So you ask yourself which one of the things. So the thing is, one of the easiest ways to give value is a photo shoot. That's just so easy to give value. So you need to understand, it's not the fact that the photo shoot works. It's that you need to ask yourself, why does it work? Okay. Why does the photo shoot work? The photo shoot works because of the giving value. Okay. Hey, come to the GA list and sit at the promoter's table to watch DJ Snake. If you're not from Vegas, that's giving value. If you're no self-respecting woman who lives in Las Vegas would ever go to a club and sit at a promoter's table to watch DJ Snake, who lives in, no woman who lives here would do this. A woman from Kansas definitely would, because it's going to be the greatest night of her life. If you think like, go, it's just so funny. Go to Masha Diddick sometime and just like, hey, Masha, we have a comp dinner over at fucking Wish. She'd be like, the owner at Wish is trying to fuck me. I've never had to pay for anything there my entire life. What are you talking? Not Wish. I'm sorry. What's the name of the restaurant next to in Javier's? Just say Javier's. Okay. Yeah. So that's giving value. Tell you, and the answer is giving value or taking value. There we go. Mark Fischel is saying it correct. This is from Alex Hermosi. Make the offer so good people feel stupid saying no. $60,000 bikini competition. Like, again, these girls are getting in shape for bikini season anyway. What are they addicted to, Toyin? What are women addicted to? What are women addicted to? We talked about it at the beginning of the program.
Losing weight.
Women are not addicted to losing weight. Come on, Toyin. What are women addicted to? Right? Look in the comments. What are women addicted to, Toyin?
Attention.
They're addicted to attention. So bikini competition, attention, more money than you'll get from any other place. Stratification. They're actually comparing themselves to other women, which women are kind of into that. That's the offer. It's a good offer because it's giving value. You see that?
Yeah. I see it. I'm just, so as far as like implementing it, I should mention everything in my first message about all this. About
no, but you should show pictures of it. Again, more evidence, fewer words. This is why, guys, I ask you to have women showing compliance at your, like, you need as much content of women showing compliance in your videos and all your other stuff. And when you have all that content of women showing compliance, then you don't have to worry about anything else. And then, so that means when you do your second event, you can just show the images of women showing compliance. When I say compliance, obviously that means like they look like they're having a good time with you. Here's a good example. Ready? Can you guys see my screen here? This is an example of people showing compliance. This is my birthday party. It's kind of hard to see because it's out of focus. You guys see my birthday party? You see the girl sitting next to me? You see how they're kind of leaned in towards me? That's people showing compliance. Okay. That's what compliance looks like. You guys understand? People like looking like they actually want to be there, showing compliance. If I show that, hey, think about show this video. Hey guys, we're going to go to Top Golf and have fun and play golf. And they see this photo. Women are more likely to say yes because you showed evidence in fewer words. I didn't say, hey, come to Top Golf. There'll be tons of good looking guys and good looking girls with big smiles. They're all happy to be around each other and share a great time. I could skip that whole paragraph, or I could just say, hey, come to Top Golf, and then show the picture. See how the picture's better? Show it. Don't talk about it. That's why you guys, after your events, you're like, Michael, how do I get more girls to come to my events? I'm like, okay, well, let me see all the content you took. I didn't take any content. Man, I didn't take any videos. Man. Guys, we've talked about this a million times. What's more important, your event or the photos and videos of your event? What's more important, your event or the photos and videos of your event? The photos and videos are more important than your event. Showing that people had a good time and show compliance, that's what's more important, okay? It doesn't matter if you're a personal injury attorney and you got $100 million settlement. It doesn't matter if nobody knows about it. But if you put it up on a fucking billboard, you're going to be rich. You guys heard, I love James Sexton. I'm going to be hanging out with James Sexton next week, the divorce attorney. He tells a story about a girl that he was married to a guy. And the guy came up with some algorithm, made like $900 million. And the woman got like $350 million just because she was hot. Now, if you listen to the story, it sounds crazy. Oh my God, I can't believe this woman got $350 million and she hardly did anything. But if you're a woman and you're looking for a divorce attorney, he just said he got a woman $350 million. He just made some more money. Now women want to hire him as a divorce attorney. You see what I'm saying? So it's again, you want a guy $100 million. It doesn't matter if nobody there hears about it. Okay.
One more question.
Uh-huh.
So I also noticed that you do a Q&A for your red carpet events on your Instagram, like with all the women and guys at your red carpet events. And I wanted to do the same thing at my photo shoots. and possibly other events if it's applicable. But so I want to start doing it. But do you think it would be like kind of awkward to do it like at a, I guess like if we did like a game night at my apartment, or like we play basketball?
So you're not going to do what you just said at anything other than an event. Like I wouldn't do I have done Q&As at photo shoots before. Like the girls were on bikinis and I did Q&As and they were pretty cool. We put them up on YouTube. But I got to be honest with you, like honestly, I would do like some kind of charity or gala if I was going to do Q&As or a pageant or a contest rather than a photo shoot.
Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. If I wanted to do what you do, like host like pageants, shows, competitions in my area, should I just invite the people who hold those things to my photo shoots?
Again, one more time, what's my answer going to be? You've already gotten away from it. You know the answer to the question and you asked it anyway.
But you also said that I shouldn't monetize my photo shoots. So
yeah, I don't think you should monetize your photo shoots. Yeah, I definitely don't think you should do that.
Right. But if I wanted to get a certain job or a special like thing, like a host like you, I should invite the owners to my shoots.
Okay,
right?
so just so you know, like I don't make any money from hosting those carpets. I do it for charity. Yeah, so I don't know what that has to do with making money.
I still want to do it. I mean, I wouldn't care if I get paid any. I would love to host
Toyin, here, if you want to host those carpets, then you can make your own carpets or you can volunteer to do someone else's carpet and you need to do like a couple hundred of them. You need to get really good at it. And then people actually offer me money to host their carpets now. Like they didn't before, but I've just done so many of them. And I do so well that now I get money to do it. But like, I'm never going to make back the money and the time that I put into it. Does that make sense?
Yeah. You're saying it's not worth like doing as a career. Like you shouldn't do it unless you.
No, it's worth doing it as a career. If you're willing to do it for free for years, then it's worth doing it as a career. If you're willing to do it for free for years. Got it?
Yeah, I got it. Thank you.
Hey, can you do me a favor real quick? Do you see right here where it says interviews on my screen? Let me help you. Do you guys see where it says interviews? How many videos are in there?
Almost 500.
500 interviews I've done. 500. And they're just now wanting to pay me. Got it?
Yep, got it.
Okay, beautiful. Guys, I didn't just like create Men of Action out of like a whim. There's a ton that went into it for 25 years to create this program. All right, beautiful. Good questions, Toyin. Rithik, what's your question? Yeah, of course, brother. What's your question, Rithik?
Hey, Michael, can you hear me?
Yep, sure can.
Awesome. Actually, do you mind if I share like when I just finished Men of Action in August, and I just want to share a short story.
Say hi, huh? Hold on, guys. Look.
It's like 50 of your guys over there.
Yeah, I know. Hey, guys, everybody say hi. All the MOA guys are here. Look, there she is. Look, hey, there we go. That was rude. You didn't even say hi to them. There's 5,000 people watching, and they just wanted to say hi to you.
Hi.
All right, go ahead, brother.
Do you mind if I share a win from last week? Because I just
please. I love it. More wins. Let's do it.
So it was 2 months ago. I was helping a work colleague with her fundraiser. She just started a charity for rhabdomyocarcinoma, and she had her first charity event. So I was like, yeah, absolutely, I'd love to help you out. So I shared a charity event on Instagram. And it was like a low turnout, but like it was a lot of fun still. And there's a first event, so I was like, hey, like this, you'll build from here. And I did as the program instructed. You have your list and you DM all the female influencers. You see who comes. A month later, and I forgot actually to unsend this girl's message when you go back in and just so you unsend it.
I unsend it when I send the next message. But yeah, I always have one message sitting there. And I know where you're going with this, Rithik. It's the one where they answer you like a year or several months later. And like, damn, I wish I'd come to this event. I get that all the time.
Well, that's exactly what happened. It was a month later. And she was like, hey, oh my God, like, I'm so sorry I missed this. I would have loved to come out. Please let me know like when there's another event coming. And I was like, hey, absolutely. Love to met you out. And then I think it was like 2 weeks later, I was going out with a friend of mine it was like a big, like a karaoke for his birthday party. And I asked him like, hey, do you mind if I invite like some people? And he's like, yeah, absolutely, go for it. And I invited her, and she messaged me. She was like, hey, I'm so sorry I can't come. The night before was a wedding. We got drunk. I was like, hey, wedding drunks hits different, so you gotta sleep that off. And she was like, hey, I'm having a Halloween party next weekend. Would you like to come? And she's fairly attractive woman. So I was like, oh shit, like this is really cool. This didn't happen to me before the program. And hung out with her that actually last weekend. And talk about your female friends giving you access to clubs. Pittsburgh is not very a club heavy scene, but it was because of her I got up next to the DJ booth for the first time in the local club in Pittsburgh. She was like, I tried to go up, security guard stopped me, and she was like, no, he's with me. And so he waved me up, and I was able to
Bro, I've had girls get violent. Bro, I've had girls get violent. They're like, no, he's fucking with me. No, you're going to let him up. I'm going to call your fucking boss. I've had girls do that before. You're going to let him up. You're going to let him up on stage right now. I've seen that happen, bro. Yeah, you're absolutely.
I security guard's hand because then I have to see what he has to deal with. Oh, sorry.
No, I'm with you. When I saw that the first time, I was like, dude, I got to do a program on this. Like, this is crazy. They'll be, no, he's coming with me right now. Yeah. Let him on stage. I've seen that happen before. It's like nuts.
No, seriously, it's insane, man. No, I shook that guy's hand because I was like, dude, like I get it. Like you're gonna have like some weirdo guys that want to come up to me on stage, and you're like, no, I'm sorry, like you can't let him. So I totally get it. I wasn't like offended or anything like that. Because then I saw him boots people off stage, and he looked at me. I'm like, I get it, man. But yeah, so it was just a win. Like I made a really cool female friend, attractive young woman, and she got me access to the stage, and I was trying to see if I can invite her to a Halloween party this coming weekend. So here we go. But I just want to say, I'm in my early 20s, and I took this program, and I'm not at the level of like any of the coaches, like Anthony Dorico, Luke Chase, Godwin. Like those guys are all killing it. I'm still studying for the MCAT. I want to go to medical school, but like I'm still in my micro level of doing stuff. But still, I'm seeing these results. So I do implore the guys in the chat that if you guys are considering a men of action, I really do implore you guys to check it out. And it changed my life. And I'm only in my 20s, so I can't wait to see the guy I become with the foundation that a Men of Action given me. So Michael, I didn't get a chance to come on a call and just thank you. So dude, I really appreciate the program, and I appreciate the things you're doing for guys. Sincerely, thank you.
Rithik, man, thank you so much, man. I appreciate that. I do.
Yeah, man, but here's. I hope to come in to Babes in Toyland or like in Vegas in person and shake your hand in person, man.
I love it. Let's do it. This is what happened. So I was with the guys at Mind Geek, and they wanted to kick me out from the table. This was in Vegas, and Chloe comes up to them. This is Chloe Teray, and she goes, "No, he's fucking staying here. He's with me." It was Chloe did that, and I remember looking at the guys, and they're like, "There's no way I'm saying shit to this woman." By the way, congratulations to Chloe. She just had a baby a couple weeks ago, I think. I don't know how long. She kind of kept it a secret at first, but Chloe just gave birth to her first. I believe it's a girl. Her name's Ocean, I think that's what it is. But yeah, this is Chloe just like telling these dudes like, no, he's coming upstairs. This is what I mean. Like Chloe and I are not hooking up. We're friends, but she's down to give me access. You guys need to understand the dudes who are sitting there talking about, especially you guys saw the debates that I did with the PUA guys. Remember how they're like, oh, these guys, they're in a friendly mode and they're getting put in the friend zone. No. They're not getting put in the friend zone. They're getting put in the VIP section. That's where they're getting put. That's the part guys don't understand. Women give you access. You guys heard that one clip with Andrew Tate where he was like, "There's this guy's got the Bugatti and his girlfriend looks miserable. This guy over here, he's got the Ace of Spades. He looks miserable. Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here with my 2 wives and they're just all about me. The real currency is money." Whoops. Wait, what's the real currency? I'm sorry. The real currency is women. The real currency is having compliance from women. That's the real currency, and I agree with that. I totally agree with that.
I think once you get out of that binary thinking of like either I have to be having sex with her or or she's not my friend. I think once you get out of that, it actually becomes a lot more freeing. Because I was talking to the girl that invited me out, and I found out that we aligned on a lot of things, a lot of political things, a lot of like values. I found out she's into guns, and I was like, hey, like I'd love to come to your shooting range, like learn how to shoot with you. It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
But okay, so
well, hold on. Come to your shooting range. Is that guys? Hey, girls, we're going to go to a shooting range and the guy's like going to let us shoot all day. Is that giving value or taking value? You guys understand how that's giving value? It's and also, is that a bad offer or a good offer? No one's going to say no to that offer. It's just, you find ways to get better offers and no one flakes on you. That's it. Because here's the thing. But people are going to argue with me and be like, no, Michael, my friends like me because I'm a special snowflake. I'm special. They like my energy and my chakra. They like me for me. And it's like, you're a failure at life, though. You look at their lives and they're just failures. Just know this, guys. I don't care. This is going to be so depressing to some of you. Your value as a man comes from what you can do for other people. It just is the truth, bro. The woman's going to pick you no matter what she says at her wedding day about for rich or for poor, whatever the fuck. She's there with you because of what you can provide. Even if that providing is love and children, that's providing. It's still providing. You guys, you need to understand your value in this world. It comes from you being useful to other people, period. And as a man, even more so. As a woman, you can get away with being pretty. As a man, you cannot. Please, I'm begging you. Like, if you don't, like, again, think about, again, that kid, what was his name? Dylan or Dane or whatever, whoever that kid was that was on here. Yeah, Dane. He lives such a privileged life that he thinks that he has the privilege to do that. And he does. I mean, he's free enough to do it, right? He lives in a country where people protected his freedom so he could act like an idiot. But the point is, like, having that level, like, he's going to come when the bill comes due and he actually has to perform in life, it's going to hit him so hard he's not going to know what to do. I see military camp. I see a military school in that kid's future. I'm going to be real. Like, think about how concerning it would be if that was your kid. If your kid screams out the N-word a couple of times, that's bad to start off with, right? But it's almost worse if you found out, yeah, your son waited on a show, on a YouTube live stream for over an hour just so he could come off and start screaming the N-word. He waited an hour to do that. Like, think about like the behavioral issues your child has if you've done that. Like, how now, again, it's probably genetic, so I'm not going to blame his parents, but man, oh man, could you imagine? And then just remember, that's who you're competing with. That Dane kid, that's who your competition is, one derivative away from Dane, just 10 years older than Dane. That's who it is. It's just so crazy. And we made this world so soft and made people believe that they don't have to provide value, so much to the point that they feel privileged enough to do shit like that. And you have, influencers who just have no gratitude for their situation whatsoever.
Absolutely, man. And before I ask my questions, I think one of the things that I really learned from you was the gratitude, because I mean, I'm trying to get to medical school, and there's like I'm studying for the MCAT right now, and then there's like times when I'm just like I really don't want to have to like learn. I was learning about the skin this morning, and now I have to go into the male reproductive system tomorrow morning. So I was like, oh, like this is like, it's interesting, but like there's times where you have to slog through it. But then I have to think, well, hold on, there's a kid maybe in Haiti who would like slit my throat to be in the position that I am in.
Oh my God, of course. Yeah. I was talking about that the other day. Like how fortunate. Can you imagine living in a country where you're just doing the best you can? Imagine you live in Rwanda in 1992, and there's all of a sudden, like through no fault of your own, literally there's this thing on your passport that says Hutu or Tutsi on your passport. And now all these people that say Hutus are now coming to like literally cut you into pieces for no reason. And you have no idea why. And they don't care that you're a child. They do it to you anyway. Could you imagine the disruption and like the level of stress? Forget not going to school or going like weeks without food, like on the run from these people trying to murder you. And you're sitting here like, think about just literally have some gratitude. Consider like living near Tibet or living near Mongolia. In the 15th century. And then these Mongolian hordes come, they surround your place, and they just ask you to surrender. Then they slit all the throats of their men. And then before they die, they fuck all the women right in front of the men while they're dying. That's the reality that you would have lived in under the fucking Mongolian hordes. Are you serious? And you're like complaining about shit? Are you? Oh my God. It's going crazy to me. Like something, what is it? 1.5% of all the people on the planet Earth have Genghis Khan's Y chromosome. Some crazy number like that. He killed 10% of the human population at one point. And you're sitting there worried. Oh my God, you're worried that you got like, oh my God, they reported my meme. The people at work don't like my meme. Just consider like how much gratitude you should have for your life. Oh my God.
Oh, it's the best. It's the best time in alive. It's the best time in history to be alive as a human being.
Yes.
So much fun. But okay. So on to my questions. So my first question is, what is a critique / problem that you see in mainstream medicine that physicians could be doing better to help men with their health aside from the underprescription of TRT?
I think eating cleaner to deal with autoimmune disorders. But there's no money in that.
Right.
I think that's a big one. Like eczema and what's it called? Not psoriasis. What's it called when you have the psoriasis? Things like that, like the breakouts that happen. I think like teaching people to eat clean to get rid of autoimmune disorders is something I think it's real, it's proven, and doctors don't teach it at all. Peptides, not just TRT, but just peptides as well. Peptides seem to be working phenomenally well, like way faster than I think people expected them to.
What kind of peptides? Like, do you know? Because I'm trying to like do some research before I go to med school. I don't want to be just some run-of-the-mill doctor that they push out, So like
Thymosin. Yeah, thymosin is a miracle. I'll just say it right now. Thymosin is a miracle. I couldn't. THYMOSIN. Thymosin is a miracle. You shoot that stuff in any joint you're injured in. All of a sudden, I was sprinting the other day. I haven't sprinted in 2 or 3 years. I like thymosin is a miracle. That stuff's incredible. Semaglutide is I don't know if it's a miracle. I think it's a miracle if you're morbidly overweight, but it's definitely very helpful. And HCG is pretty awesome too. It's pretty awesome if you want to still have kids after you get on TRT. And then what else? Tristan said semaglutide is Jesus. And dude, Cemerlin is pretty amazing. And tesamorelin is amazing stuff. It's a way for your body to produce more HGH without taking HGH. So that's good. HGH is super expensive and it can be dangerous. Your body produces its own HGH. It's a lot better. My skin is cleared up. I've just like all this fat around my waist has just disappeared in the last couple of weeks.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So peptides.
That's awesome. I'm personally, because I actually work with Trent works too. I personally work with I'm doing some stem cell research actually in my lab, and school I'm actually like growing like mesenchymal stem cells. So the regenerative medicine is actually something I'm like really curious about too. And then actually kind of going off of that, what are some medical innovations that you're excited / curious about for the future, like that you see like the path that's going down?
I mean, the pretty generic ones. I think we're going to be able to completely cure heart disease, but probably through like 3D printed organs at some point. We're probably going to be able to print organs through some sort of like biologic or something. You know what I'm saying? Like grow some sort of culture that can so just imagine like some sort of biological tissue that has some generic level of DNA. You put it into the heart and your body doesn't reject it. And so we just have 100% proof hearts that go into people. I think that we could see something like that happening in the future.
Well, have you heard of organoids before?
No.
So the idea is basically you take you have to first create the vasculature because you need the blood to supply this tissue. So what you do is you grow basically, you're not growing a heart, but you're growing like a mound of heart tissue, or it could be lung, it could be brain.
Yeah, and you sculpt and you like build the heart out of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and then you can test drugs on it and it eliminates like animal testing.
So the other thing, it eliminates animal testing. The other idea is, like you said before, if you could eliminate the rejection of the heart transplant, so how the heart sort of rejects the other heart, because eventually what's supposed to happen is through mitosis is that your genes or your genetic code is supposed to replace every single cell in that heart. The heart is supposed to regrow as your heart, but it doesn't tend to work out that way. If you were able to get rid of the whole rejection mechanism of it, then you could legitimately have people who are morbidly overweight, stick them full of semaglutide, they stop eating the trash they were eating, and then just give them a new heart. Like I know we're rewarding the bad, we're rewarding bad behavior, but you could have somebody who goes from being morbidly overweight to living to 114 years old, like that kind of stuff. Now, what's going to happen though, I promise you, is once we start curing the problems from heart disease, the number of people dying from cancer is going to skyrocket. And I don't think we're ever going to cure cancer. I think the only real cure for cancer is like eugenics, and I don't agree with that.
I mean, it's too much of a I'm starting to realize this now. It's too much of like a multivariate disease. Like,
yes,
because I'm learning like
too many variances. Yes.
Because so another project I'm working on is CAR T. For anybody who doesn't know, basically you create like a artificial like receptor like through like a DNA code. You get your T cells and which kill off cancer in your body, and they can't recognize it. You shock them, put the DNA in, RNA or whatever, and then they express that receptor. They can go off and kill it. But sometimes what happens is the cancer like, it realizes like, this mutation is being targeted too much by the CAR T, so it just like does it either disexpresses it, or you eliminate all the ones that express it, and then it's the ones that like can't be targeted are like around. So there's just too many mutations, or there's like not enough markers to target. So it's just too complex. Yeah. And what was I say?
Well, I'm just saying, like the things that we want, the solutions that we're looking for these problems, we can't even conceive. Like, for instance, I take an immunosuppressant, Enbrel. I don't take it very much anymore because I changed my diet, so I don't have an autoimmune disorder really. But Enbrel causes a certain part of my immune system to not attack me, but not my whole immune system. Like, how the fuck do you do that? I can't, like, it's been explained to me, but it took several paragraphs to explain to me how the fuck this worked. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, for me as a lay person, when it comes to medicine, there's cancer and heart disease, right? Those are the two big ones. Those would be two big ones. And so, like, those would be the main ones that I would tell you. The TRT thing, I just tell you right now, dude, I know that it does put some strain on your heart to have thicker blood like that. I am aware of that. But you know what else helps your heart, though? Going outside, which you want to do because you want to pick up women because your penis is hard because you're fucking full of testosterone again.
I think you have to just weigh the pros and cons at that point. You're like, I mean, like, I want to have a better quality of life.
You know what's fun? Having sex. You know, I can have sex being in better shape. So now I take testosterone. Now I'm motivated to get into better shape. Did we think about that? Interesting. You know what? It's just so crazy. It's like, you know what I don't need anymore? Ritalin. You know what I don't need anymore? Xanax. You know what I don't need anymore? Adderall, because I have testosterone. You know what the markup on Adderall is compared to testosterone that's made out of fucking wild yams? You know the difference between testosterone cypionate from Mexico and the United States is nothing. There's not name brand testosterone. It's just testosterone. It's crazy. Like, it's just so crazy to me. It's like this solution to so many issues that we have. Of course, I don't want you guys to load up. I don't need you guys to all fucking be taking 500 MIGs a week. That's way too much. Don't do that. What I'm saying is, though, if that's a problem, fix it. And what you'll notice is a bunch of other problems stop happening to you when you fix that one problem.
Gotcha. I actually have a book recommendation for you if you'd like.
Okay.
It's called Cells Are the New Cure by... Let me hold up.
Hey, just send it, Rithik, just send it to me. Just text me.
I'll just text. I can DM you on Instagram, but it's Cells Are the New Cure. I'll DM it to you.
I love it.
Yeah, I'll send that to you. And then the last question is, have you ever, I'm sure you're familiar with Dr. Ryan Taraban?
No.
Oh, he runs like the Psych Hacks YouTube channel. I think Rollo mentioned him. He's like he's either a clinical psychologist or a psychiatrist.
Okay.
And he talks about like red pill evolutionary psychology content.
Okay.
I was just curious if that's a name you've heard of. I'd like to check him out. Love to see you guys talk, because I think he, like you, gets more into the science and the details of things, and you guys have a great like discussion.
Yeah, I mean, I'm like, I got 60 more to go through, and then I'll get around to it. Like, I'm just so backed up. Like, if he happens to be in town, or like, basically the way it works is I have my dream list and I go through it like once a month, and then I have like podcasts lined up for weeks, and then once I do that, then I go through all the people who reach out to me, and I have to schedule them in between, and then from there, when you guys ask me to go interview people, then I reach out to them too. So that's the way it works. And that's how I've gotten to 104 episodes. But like, the other thing is I do this show and Access Vegas also. So I have a bunch of stuff that I'm doing, and I'm doing 7 podcasts next week. Or when I am in when I'm at Miami, I'm doing 7 podcasts, so I won't be releasing an episode of the weeks where I do other people's podcasts, like that many, I don't release an episode of my podcast. I just have too many people. I don't want you to miss my 3.5 hours with fucking Patrick Bet David so that you can watch my show. Right.
No worries.
If I go on PBD, which I might be. I might be going on PBD in 2 weeks. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. All right. So let's go to Johnny Osmond. Johnny, what's your question?
Thank you.
Johnny, 1 second. Unmute yourself.
Okay, there we go. All right. Well, first thing I want to say is the guy who was just on, I know he's in Pittsburgh. I'm in Pittsburgh too, and I just sent him a DM on Instagram so we can connect. Second thing is this. I did a podcast recently with one of the top promoters in Toronto. His name's Justin Mark. He said he has not met you yet, and he would like to be in contact with you. Now, as far as I know, the best way to contact you would be through
is Drunk Justin?
Drunk Justin too.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, he can message me, but what's going to happen? I'll probably end up doing like a live stream with him on. It's either, can't remember if it's Ice White or if it's Playing with Fire. I'm going to do one with him. I think he's coming on it.
Okay.
I'm just so swamped right now, man. I can't. There's like not a ton I can do, but like I promise you, I'll get around. Every time you guys mention someone to me, I put him on this list, and then I go through the entire list. But it takes me like every 6 weeks. I'll go through the entire list and message all those people.
Okay.
But Johnny, yes, I will. I promise you, I will get around to it. I know. I know who you're talking about. 2 people have brought him up to me, and I'll definitely get around to it. I'm kind of curious what he's doing. Go ahead.
Yeah. I mean, he has a pretty big channel, and as far as up north in Canada, I mean, he's one of the best guys. I know in the United States, I believe you're the best or one of the best at what you do. So it'd be cool if you guys got together. He's also interested in talking with Dan Bilzerian too. So I don't know if you could pull something there or not.
Yeah, I don't give out Dan's info ever.
That makes sense.
The way it works with Dan is like, I'm going to see Dan tonight or tomorrow. Or tomorrow, the next day, we're going to probably hang out whenever he's in town, because we were supposed to hang out with Ross Jeffries of all people. Okay. And with Dan, I show him a thing, and then I say, hey, do you want to talk to this person? And then he has to have a reason. It's just too many people trying to get it Dan.
Yeah, that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Cool. That's all I got for now, man.
Talk to you soon. Donna Running Wild, what's your question?
Hey, just super curious. So presently in a space where I moved to a new town, mostly for work, money, sold out, but having a struggle meeting like-minded people, as far as like males go. The dating thing's the dating thing, but socializing is something that I'm like trying to rev up, but I'm in a smaller town as well. So I'm out in like Eastern Washington, and any advice for that? Because sometimes I do meet people, but I don't know. I'm a little bit old school, so like meeting like men is like hard.
What's the city? How far are you from Spokane?
I'm in Tri-Cities, so I'm like 2 hours southwest a little bit.
I was beaten vociferously at Fairchild Air Force Base at survival school. So the thing is, it's a lot easier to meet like-minded men than it is to meet hot women. It just is, because dudes are like, if you're cool, then they're cool. First, I mean, my first thought is, so what are the things you're interested in? Because my first thought is like flag football, like that's one of my favorites, like pickup basketball. Those are the easy ones. And then the other things are like finding a couple bars that you really like and go in them on a regular basis, not drinking. Then finding some kind of charity event in the city for SPCA, Wounded Warriors, something like that. Those are like the initial ideas I have. And then the other thing is like Facebook groups for that area would be another thing I would look at. That's where I would start for like-minded individuals.
Fair. Okay. Thank you. Yeah, I've been out here for a year, got into volunteering for that reason. It's like meet people. So I'm currently doing Kiwanis and then Special Olympics.
Got it.
Out here in my region. And tons of old people. Oh my God.
Like, so that's going to be rough. I will tell you, a lot of guys, one of the easiest things, guy versus guy to guy, is the fucking gym. Go heavy in the gym, get in the best shape of your life, and hang out with a bunch of other dudes, get in the best shape of their life, and you're going to find out that you're going to just be dealing with a more educated, more motivated individual.
Fair.
Got it?
Yeah.
Love it. Awesome, man. Thomas, what's your question? We lose you, Thomas? Let's try it again. Thomas, go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yep. Hi, Michael.
Yep.
Yeah, just wondering if there's a good way to increase testosterone naturally.
Yes. What's it? Yohimbe and GABA, are those the two? Somebody remind me. There's two herbs that you can take that are natural.
Tongkat Ali.
Tongkat Ali, and then there's a second one. So Thomas, the quick answer is you're going to go look up Andrew Huberman, and he's going to look up videos he has on raising testosterone naturally. Second thing I will tell you is, without taking exogenous testosterone, you can take HCG and it'll actually boost your levels. You can also take an estrogen blocker. You don't seem like you're fat, but if you were fat, you could actually take those herbs, estrogen blocker, HCG, and it would boost your testosterone. Or you can take Clomid, and it will boost your testosterone levels without you taking exogenous testosterone.
Okay, fantastic. Have you tried the stuff from 4 Hour Body by any chance? Or
What 4 Hour?
Sorry,
you got to remind me, dude. I'm getting stuff from 4 different clinics right now. I don't know what do you mean the stuff?
Oh, so Tim Ferriss, 4 Hour Body, he goes on to something about how to increase testosterone naturally.
I mean, I think you can. I mean, I'd have to see some data on it. I just don't like. I love Tim Ferriss. Like, I think he writes some good books, but it's way too much fucking mushroom tea, fucking cold chakra bullshit, blue blocker type shit. Like, It's like, it's just so much stuff Tim Ferriss talks about is not based in science. I would start with Andrew Huberman.
Right, so sounds good. Yep.
Yeah, I would do that. Like, I just like, I'm not saying Tim Ferriss is wrong. It's just, dude, if you've ever read Tools for Titans, that is one of the most useful and most useless books I've ever read in my entire life.
Right.
There's so much nonsense in that book. I was just like, I couldn't believe how crazy. Like, the 6th guy talking about mushroom tea, I'm like, bro, get the fuck out of here, bro. Like, what is this shit?
Yeah, no, fair enough. Yep.
Yeah.
I also just want to give a shout out to your program as well. So, as you know, I've been in your program for about 3-4 months. I'm just planning my first event, which I've talked to you about. I can't believe the people who are coming to my event now. I've got published models. I've got a Playboy centerfold that's coming now.
Nice. I love it.
And I've got a former Miss Australia. So it's ridiculous.
That's good, man. You're doing it. It's almost like this shit works. It's like there's 700 guys in this program for a reason. It's so weird.
How much day game did you do to get her?
Yeah, was it day game cold approach in the mall? Is that what percentage did you just pull their hair to get them to show up?
Yeah, all of them. Yeah, of course. No, I've literally got 80 followers on my Instagram. I don't know how it's working, but it's working.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, it's like we were kind of teasing Marcus Wolf, because he's like, I go up to girls and just pull their hair and then they sleep with me. And I'm like, yeah, I'm sure it has nothing to do with the fact that you're like a 6'1" Australian man. I'm sure it's just because you pull their hair. I'm sure that's why they fuck you. It's so funny. Anyway, so awesome, Thomas. Any other questions?
No. Yep. No, thanks for that.
All right, guys, I got to start getting ready here. I'm eating Rolo for dinner, and then the guys are still sitting there downstairs doing MOA or doing Vegas immersion this week. If you guys are interested in a couple things, I didn't realize how many of you didn't know that there was a live-in program. So yeah, you just live with me for a month. I think what happens is when people hear about it, they think it's so unrealistic that it's not real. You live in the room that's right in front of me right now. You come out of your room tired as shit because you went out and partied the night before. No drinking. We don't do any alcohol. You're in the gym 7 days a week. There's women over here screaming in the middle of the night all the fucking time. You're sneaking into the downstairs men's sauna so that you can sneak in. I was in the hot tub last night with 3 girls. It's just a wild time. Like, if you want to come live with me, just understand it's not like today's lesson will be on breaking rapport. It's just going to be nothing but fucking chaos the entire time. Black tape project, bikini competition. It's just going to be wild. You're going to get a text from me at 1 o'clock in the morning, like, hey bitch, get here in 45 seconds on stage at XS. Like, you're just going to be on stage at clubs with me. It's just going to be wild. And some nights we're just going to sit and I'm just going to hang out with my cats. If you need structure and order, first off, I don't know how, like, good for you, but like, you need to learn to get outside of it and embrace the chaos. You should come live with me for a month. It's not Mateos. It's a living program. If you guys want to talk to Tristan,
just want to say, guys, you have to have been in MOA first. It's not something you're able to do. Let's get on a call and live with Michael. You got to.
Yeah, we tried that. We tried that before. We had guys come live with me who'd never taken MOA. It was hilarious. I was like, bro, what do you mean? It's like, yeah, obviously it's like rule number 6. I'm like, what's rule number 6? I'm like, how the fuck do you not what? And they're like, yeah, I haven't taken MOA. We had this one guy who lived with me, Dan Roque. He took the course while he was in like living with me, and he starts crying halfway through the course. He's like, I didn't know any of this was possible. And he's living with me. It was after that, I was like, no more of this shit, guys. You have to finish the course before you come live with me. Okay. Facundo said all Germans left the chat. Oh my God, man. Oh, so awesome. Yeah. So if you guys are interested, I know it sounds crazy. Also, the other thing that people sound crazy.
It's crazy. You've been doing the live-in program longer than you've been doing MOA.
I've been doing a live-in program for 10 years. People have been living with me, and like I've been doing that forever. The second thing is, people don't believe that what's the tier where you get unlimited one-on-ones with me, Tristan? Which tier is that?
The mastermind.
The mastermind. People don't believe they get unlimited with me. And then they get on there and they're like afraid to set up one-on-one calls with me. You actually get unlimited calls with me. I know it sounds crazy, but like, and yes, sometimes I will pick up while I'm in bed with 2 women. Yes, that's actually happened more than 12 times. I'm not going to stop. We do the calls no matter what. I do them all the time. Generally, though, I'm going to give you homework. So once you do a one-on-one, you're not going to set up another one for at least another week, just because I do give you a lot of homework after each one-on-one. And we don't get off the call unless I have back-to-back calls until all your questions are answered. So yes, you do get unlimited one-on-ones. Yes. Number 2, there is a live-in program where you live with me. For some reason, people were like having a hard time comprehending those 2 things. Both those things are real. Tristan, did you want to say anything before we get off the call here?
No, that's it.
All right, cool. Real quick, last thing before we go, guys, if you are in the school, if you are not in the school server, can you put a 1 in the chat? Right now, you are not in the school server, put a 1 in the chat, please. Like, you are not in the free school server. Put a 1 in the chat. If you are, and the same thing for you guys on YouTube. If you are not in the free school server, put a 1 in the chat. Oh, real quick, I want to say something real quick. Joshua, he had a super chat here. Hey, Michael, I met with the TRT doctor tomorrow. I'm 38. My biggest question for him will be, will be with fertility. My question is, if you're concerned that crosses your mind for you as well down the road. But the thing I'll tell you, Joshua, look into Clomid and look into HCG. Those things maintain fertility even though you are on TRT. That's the best answer I can give you. Is it going to affect fertility? Anabolic steroids will affect fertility more than TRT. I don't think if you take a reasonable amount of TRT, it's not going to affect fertility that much, but you getting older can. So it is something that you should look into. I would do as much research as you want, but it's not something where you take TRT and you can't have kids. That is not the way it works. Also, Acadios is $5. He goes, I feel like a loser. I live in college town at home in my mid-30s. I want to do DJing music. Should I stay inside and grind or attempt to network? You can do both. The thing about my program is that you're going to learn how to network even when you stay inside. So your social media is like almost like think of it like a bank account. It's accruing interest and it's accruing followers even while you sleep. That's why it's so great. So I would advise you go ahead and click the link down at the bottom, take my free course. And then in the free course, you can learn how to do this. It's a little bit of an investment in the beginning. And as far as time is concerned, fix your Instagram, set up your list, get a bunch of open threads with a bunch of people. So invite people to different events and then take 6 girls to one of the events. Those are the first 4 steps. Paguna said it, get unlimited one-on-ones with Tristan. That's the other thing. When you buy the other course, you don't just get unlimited with me. You get unlimited with like all the coaches. Like it's not just with me. I forgot to mention that to you. Like people join the course and then they pay for it and then they're just like stunned. They're like, I don't want to bother Michael. You're not bothering me. I love doing this. Do you guys notice? I've been doing this. I don't miss any weeks. I come on here every week. We have been on this fucking call for 2 hours. Do I sound like I'm losing steam? Does it seem to me like I'm just doing this? Like, oh, I'm just trying to get by. No, this is what God put me on this fucking planet to do. I will do one-on-ones until I pass out or you pass out. I'm not ever going to quit doing this. Ever. I'm not going anywhere. Okay? If you guys want to join the fucking company, I'm not going anywhere. There's a reason why. Listen, we don't get refunds ever. I think we have like a 99%. Satisfaction rate. The only reason we ever get refunds is if a dude has some horrible financial trouble or if he's trying to steal our program. He's just trying to like bootleg the program and put it up. That's the only time we ever get refunds. Like, seriously, if you guys are considering joining, don't even listen to me. Don't take my word for it. Ask the 700 other motherfuckers in the program now if it's a good program to take, okay? Do that first. But I'm not going anywhere. I'm not quitting. It's not one of these situations where, I don't know, I've heard stories about people, I don't know, taking boot camps and the instructor just starts drinking beer and hanging out with his fat girlfriend the whole time. It doesn't help you at all. You're not going to hear that with us. It's never going to fucking happen. So the truth is that I think one of the reasons, Tristan, why I think they're so like taken back by it is because other people would offer unlimited one-on-ones and not do them. I do them. They are unlimited. That's what you get.
I've never seen another coach offer unlimited one-on-ones. I've only seen like one call a month, one call a week or some shit like that. But I've never seen someone offer.
I love doing them. They recharge me. I love doing them. I get better helping you because I do the one-on-ones. You're helping me with the fucking one-on-ones. Okay. That's why I like doing them. All right. Beautiful. I don't know what you're talking about, Chris. Why would you ever write that? Terrible. Going to get me sued. All right. Mafioso, last question. What's your question, brother?
All right. Yeah, I literally just left the Zoom meeting, I think 15 minutes ago. I just came back because I'm about to enroll in the gym in like 20 minutes because I haven't been working out for 2 months. I just really miss it. I just want to let you know I'm doing that. I think that's good. I had, I think, 2 questions. One of them is really small. I want to get into wearing suits. I really like dressing up.
Yeah.
But I'm literally 18 years old, so I'm making $16 an hour. I live in Sacramento, so I'm like, should I just hold off until I'm actually making enough money to buy
No. Listen, Zara and Express. Start with a starter suit. Go get one there. Okay. Starter suit.
Okay.
You get $70, $80 pants, $200 jacket. Get a starter jacket, starter pants. Yes, it's fine. Some cheap knockoff Oxfords shouldn't even be $70. Okay, go to Skechers. Start with like that. Right. But here's the main thing. Cool. Listen to me. Very important. Yeah. You're going to go and for like less than 30, $40, you're going to get the whole thing tailored and you want to get the waist of the jacket tapered to your body. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Aldo's pretty good too. Yes. But do a starter, go with Express or fucking Zara. Just go with the basic cheap shit first. Okay.
Okay.
And
then the next question, I guess, would just be
Sean Whalen says, sign up for a bespoke suit where they measure you in a hotel room and they make it in Hong Kong, etc. Those things are $5,000. Those are $5,000 suits, bro.
Yeah. That's probably what you're doing, right?
No. So I for special occasions, I wear those, but for most part, I wear a $275 jacket. Now, I'm telling you right now, I wear a fucking Kenneth Cole 200 because they beat the fuck out of my jacket. Like the number of shit that gets spilled on your jacket is directly proportional to how much you pay for it. I live in Vegas. It's like, I'm a tourist. Yeah, bitch. Vegas isn't ready for us. Let me spill my drink all over Michael Sartain. I just don't wear. I'm not wearing $1,000 jacket into a nightclub in Vegas. I'm just not doing it. Another thing is, like, to be fair, I'm too big now. Like, I can't even wear jackets other than like for special occasions. I'm just hot. It will be 40 degrees outside and I'm in a 3-piece suit and I'm sweating my ass off. I just can't. So only for babes.
Those are the ones I like too. Those are the ones I like too. I like 3 pieces.
Yeah, those are the only times I can do it. I'm just too big now. Like I just can't do it. I'm 230 pounds. I got to lose some weight. Yeah. So, but again, shoulder to waist ratio will do the trick, not the brand logo. Facundo is correct. So that's the thing. I want you to go to get you a little cheap starter suit. Okay. Black, blue, gray is good. Gray, the thing about gray that's so awesome is you don't ever have to lint roll it. And those gray, like multi-fabric ones, they never wrinkle. They're great. So you're going to do that. And then you're going to get it tailored. Keep just one button buttoned. Get a little pocket square or whatever. Just dress better than other people in the beginning.
Yeah.
Just do that for a while. It won't cost you a ton of money. Get a starter suit. But get it tailored, bro. Get it tailored. Okay?
Okay. Yeah, that's like the biggest tip I've heard because suits don't look good if they're too big on you. Or if like I'm not aficionado or like I don't look all this up, but like I know like pants there's just be like a certain length. They shouldn't be like baggy or like too high up or something.
Dude, go to the fucking Men's Warehouse, like, and they'll tell you the whole thing. I wouldn't worry too much about it. Or take a girl with you. Get a girl who mimics the hottest girl you know, or is at least in that archetype, and have her go with you.
Okay.
Wait, I have a question on that for everyone else.
Go ahead.
I have a question for everyone else watching, actually. Like how do you differentiate when to take a girl's advice on something, when to not? Because sometimes they'll tell you some shit that'll make you comfortable, but not attractive. So in this situation, why would you trust her?
So it's not advice, Tristan. You'll come out of the dressing room and it's a look she gives you. Like all of a sudden, like, wow, he has a cock. I didn't even know that was a man I was talking to. You'll just see it. And I've done it before. Like I've come out of a dressing room, like dressed with like a cool shirt on, and you can see the woman is like, oh, like it's just this thing where they're like, oh, you have a cock? I didn't even know you were a man. Like they didn't know. This is like when I was trying on black shirts when I was like 21 years old. You can do that. You know, that's when you would know. But you're right. Like, oh, this is cute. Like you don't want your mommy to dress you. The other thing is you could just look online. I would find the archetype of the type of dude you want to be and just say, does it look like this? Look at like people wearing the way the suits fit at like the Oscars or the ESPYs or something like that. And just say, I want my suit to fit like that. I go to the barber shop, I show pictures of my haircut to my barber and he makes my hair look like that. Yep. Got it. Yeah. Justin Waller. Exactly.
Yeah. No, my question though is like, you should like, it should be a female friend who is actually self-aware that you do that with, not just any female friend, right? That's my
I mean, you can still take a female friend with you. Like you're gonna see a reaction. But they just can't stop staring at you. You're gonna see it when you hit it, when it hits just right. Okay. Yep. Mafioso, your question.
All right. So, and then the next one, I think I asked this a while back. You mentioned the military being one of the first steps I should take because I'm fresh out of high school. If that's not an option for me, what would you suggest I do? Because I'm about to enroll in the gym. I have an electric bike where I can get around a little bit farther than I would be with a regular bike. I don't have a license. Like I got a lot of stuff I got to work on, you know?
You're fucking 18 years old.
Yeah.
Who cares? You're fine.
But
listen, you got a ton of time. Education, YouTube videos. So it would be Coursera, Khan Academy, YouTube videos, podcasts, and audiobooks that get you where you want to go. So I would just learn programming and AI, high ticket sales, copywriting, something like that.
All right.
And if you really want to grind, like when you're on your grind, maybe something like wholesaling, something like that, you know?
Yeah. And then MOA, where would you direct me to read about it or in order to like know if I want to join it? I might even know how much it is.
Join the free server and then just like do the free course that's in there and then read all the books, read all 30 books. I would love it if one of you guys actually read all 30 books in the book list before you join the program. That would be so impressive. Somebody did that.
Okay.
Yep.
So you recommend education through like
at your age,
academy and all that stuff?
At your age, 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think about college? Because I've heard college is like a scam and it's only meant for like medical.
It's really funny.
Like government.
Stuff like if that. You have a vocation,
don't go. It's a scam.
Tristan's going to Harvard. If you have a vocation, you have to go. And if you want to be a military officer, you have to go. Other than that, you don't have to go. The thing is, it's also something you can put off till later. I will tell you, when I was growing up, you needed to go. Now I'd say it's 50-50. I will tell you in 10, 15 years, there's just so much stuff you can do for free that's just going to do better than going to college. But some jobs you just need to check that you need to tick that off, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think that's pretty much it, man.
Education, man.
All right, educated. Cool.
All right, guys. One last time, put a 1 in the chat if you guys are not in this free school server. If you're not in the school server, put a 1 in the chat, please. If you're not in there, you're going to get a schedule for this. Okay, cool. Mafia, so you just click the link right there. Just click the link. Guys, join. There's no excuse. You guys have to be in the free school server, please. Guys, I just sat here for 2 hours, answered everyone's questions. If you think this is good, just wait till you come on the actual MOA calls, like the one we're doing tomorrow at 4, because we turned the fucking recording off. Shh. We turn the recording off and we get real. The questions get really, really, really real on there. Then also you get access to the Men of Action core protocol. You also get access to the community. You get the feedback, the accountability, and the feedback, the accountability, and the course. You get all 3 of those things. You get the community for being a Men of Action if you join the course. If not, hey, guys, don't worry about it. Good on the free server. I just put the link right there. Take the free course. Go through the book list. There's a ton of stuff in there. There's links to a bunch of stuff. Guys, you could go through my YouTube, just that interviews page, and you could just watch interviews I did for like the rest of your life. There's 496 interviews on there. Go check. $496. There's a ton of value. I try to give away as much value as I can for free, to the point where it pisses off my sales guys, but I'm just going to keep giving you guys a ton of free value. And when you join the course, you get to join the community of just fucking badasses. I'm not interested in saving the world. I'm interested in the Navy SEALs and the Delta Force. I'm interested in the pararescue guys. I'm interested in the baddest motherfuckers in the world to come join this course. If you come join us, then you're going to become part of this elite group. I am talking about elite levels of social networking. That's what I want you to be able to do. I want you to be the person that everyone gets their job through, everyone meets their girlfriend through, everyone meets their mentors through, everyone gets their book recommendations through. I want you to be at a point in your life where you could replace your girlfriend, your job, and your social life in 15 minutes. If you can't do that now, you need to join Men of Action. I will see all of you guys who are in MOA, all you guys in Fight Club. I'll see you guys in 22 hours. And for the rest of you guys, I will see you here in 2 weeks. One other thing, like I said, Access Vegas, 8 p.m. PST, Fresh and Fit and Rollo Tomasi and I are going to be hosting it. So make sure you guys subscribe to my YouTube, and I will see you guys there.